What is going on, my YouTube familia? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back into another video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing the equipment that I use for my podcast. Now, I've had my podcast for about 7 months and it's been a journey. I'm also going to be discussing the pricing of the podcast and the equipments that I got so you guys can have a better idea on what to go with and what not to go with. A lot of friends, well, actually, I just had about 2 to 3 friends have asked me so far how to start a podcast, what kind of equipment do I use? And I was like, I figured more people would have questions on that, so why not make a video? Now, if you want to see my full setup towards the end of the video, you will have a glimpse of everything put together so you guys can see and have a better idea on what it looks like. I wanted to do more with a little bit looking professional, especially the equipment. I have a philosophy that, if you're going to make a podcast and you want people to be listening to you and have something to have really good quality and also compete against other podcasters that are obviously doing a bigger and better job than you are, then at least you want to compete with them and have something that's good. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, the first thing we're gonna get into is the Rodecaster Pro II. I decided to go on the higher end of things because I decided to go with a bigger investment when it came to my podcast. Now, if you guys don't know, well, obviously you're watching this. Well, I have a YouTube channel that I've discussed and talked about with my health issues and stuff like that. But I decided one day to start a podcast. So I was like, well, if I do start a podcast, I want to make sure that the audio and the quality sounds really, really good. I wanted to invest in something that would last me for a very long time, so I won't have to keep switching them and upgrading in the future. I want the audio equipment to sound well, so when people listen to it, it might not be their favorite podcast. It might not be, the podcast that, of their dreams or something that they listen to every day religiously, but it will be a podcast that sounds really, really good. And the audio that you're hearing at the moment is actually coming from all the podcast equipment that I have. So it sounds really, really neat. I figured I will go with it. Now, the price for this was $700. And I think at the time with taxes and stuff, it's closer to 800. So it is, pretty expensive. Although even now, I still don't know how to use everything that's on the Rodecaster Pro, but it does do what I needed to do. Now, if you're looking to something on the higher end, on the lower end, there is something, the Rodecaster Pro I that you can look into, or maybe you can look into even a different mixer. Maybe you can even have just your mics and connect it to like a laptop or something so you can pick up the audio and then edit it from there. Again, I just decided to go with this because I figured it would be just something that would be really good and people can, listen to me and listen to very well. So I really like that whole process. All right. The second thing we're going to get into, again, talking about the audio and the audio quality, it's the Rodecaster mics. So these go for about $100 a piece and I have 3 of them. Again, I wanted something that looked and sounded really, really nice. And I love the way these mics look. So aesthetically, it's very pleasing, and then also the way it sounds, the sound is really, really neat and really, really nice. I would say the reason why I went with Rodecaster, and you'll see I have more Rodecaster equipment around here, it's because I wanted to get everything from one source, right? I didn't want to have to see if things can mix and match and then try to find out for myself. I was like, no, I want to go to the people that know. I want to go to a website that you can get everything from and just order things from there. So if ever I need something or everything goes wrong, they actually know what's happening, what do I need, and also what to get it from. So I think that was really important for me, just to have one website to get it from. And even though it is on the more expensive end, because obviously 1, 2, 3 mics, they're $300. And right now we're already probably like over $1,000 just on the podcast equipment. Now, this is an investment, and it is an investment for the future. Depending on what you need it for and depending on what you're looking for, of course, you got to think about that and think about the pricing. But I am happy with these mics, and they are really, really, really nice. They are really neat. As you can hear me, they sound really, really good. And every time I've had guests on my podcast, they are really impressed of the setup and the way it looks and like how simple it is, but how professional it looks. And that's the look that I was going for originally. Okay, the third equipment that I use is the headphones. Of course, now these are technically optional. If you want to, you don't need headphones, but it sounds really nice to just be able to hear the people that you're talking to straight into your ears. Now, these headphones go for about $50, and they are the Audio-Technica ATH M20X Professional Studio monitor headphones. So, again, I really enjoy the way these sounds. These are very simplistic, nothing crazy, nothing wild. I think obviously this is one of the cheapest things that I bought through Amazon. And by the way, I will leave the link to everything that I'm describing and everything that I have, all the equipment that I have, so you guys can just take a look at it. If you guys want to just buy it, of course, that's up to you. But I will leave the link so it can make it easier for you guys to just look into the equipment, look into the reviews, and to see if something that you're interested in. Anyway, so these mics are really cool. Like I mentioned earlier, you can just listen and really, really nice. And on the Rodecaster, on the Rodecaster Pro, you can adjust the volume. So if somebody's speaking too loud, you can adjust that and then just turn them down a little bit on your headset. Or if you want to hear them louder, you can too. And these mics do the job. I've also had to use these mics when I've done podcast episodes virtually, so through Zoom or StreamYard, and they sound really nice, really neat, nothing crazy, and it sounds really, really good. So these mics are something that are simple, but they're also really, really nice to use. All right, the fourth thing that I wanted you guys to see that I use for my podcast is the Rodecaster arm, and these are called the PSA-1's Professional Studio Arm. As you can see, I also bought it from Rode. Again, just wanted to make myself and my life really simple when it comes to everything. But I will say these arms are actually kind of expensive. I believe they cost me $258 for both of them. So they are on the upper end. I believe these are also the newer versions of the studio arms. So of course, I mean, they're going to be a little bit more expensive on the higher end. I was actually kind of surprised that they were this expensive. Now, you don't have to go with, Rode. You don't have to, again, like I mentioned, you don't have to do and buy everything Rode. I mean, it's your preference. But again, finding a place where you can actually find everything and everything for your podcast is really, really nice and really neat. Plus, if you're starting a podcast with more people, it'll be easier for them to follow you guys to invest in equipment. And if you're going to do more than one person, then of course, buy something that's good and buy something nice so they can, you can have something that's like really, really nice and really, really, really good when people listen to you. But the Rode arms, I'm happy with them. They have lasted me already around 7 months, and they're still good. They should last me for a very long time as well. Again, very sturdy. And I like the fact that people don't have to, like for this one, this is just a standalone mic. You don't have to keep moving it, have to keep touching it. You can just adjust it every time you talk. I know you guys have seen this in different podcasts and professionals have this, but I really, really enjoy what you can do with them, how simplistic they are, and how you can just move them out the way. The convenience of it is something that I really like. All right, the fifth thing that I wanted to show you, and the things that I own for my podcast, is the lighting. Of course, you want to have good lighting whenever you record a podcast, especially if you're doing videos. Of course, if you're not doing any videos, then you don't have to worry about it. But when you're doing videos, you have to look good. And these lights, they have different settings, so it can go on the lighter side or more on the yellowish side, depending, on what you want, or maybe even the pigmentation of your host or guest, so they can even look better, which is really, really, really cool. I love that. People have complimented on my lights; they look very professional. Now, these lights went for about $80. And I bought them through Amazon, and the name is, I'm gonna botch this, by the way, the Torgium Softbox Photography Lighting Kit. I think it brings two different controls, so you can control the temperature and the setting of the lights. And it brings two lights, two stands. The setting it up, by the way, is really, really simple. It's nothing too crazy, and it also brings its own case if you have to carry it somewhere else, which I have done that before to record a UFC live event that I did on my YouTube channel. So these lights are really good. I would recommend these. $80 it's not bad. they have lasted me. The light bulbs have actually lasted me too, which is I'm surprised. So, the lighting kit is really, really good. So this only applies to people who do video recording for their podcast. Obviously, if you're doing only audio, then you don't have to worry about this. But of course, you need something to record on. Now, I like to keep it very simple, as I mentioned earlier. And what do I use to record? I use my iPhone. And it's something that's really cool, and I really enjoyed about Rode and the Rodecaster Pro II. You can buy a cable that connects to your latest iPhone. I have the latest iPhone. I have the 15 Pro Max, and and it's like the 1,000 terabyte or something like that. And it cost me, I don't know how much the phone cost me, $1,500 maybe, $1,600, somewhere around there when I bought it new last year. But the reason I went with the 1 terabyte is because I wanted to do a lot of recording. And I was like, I don't want to have to buy another camera. I don't want to, maybe even, buy something that's more expensive and then having to, record, take that out, and then edit the audio with the video. And I was like, no, I'm a one-man army. This is just me and my podcast. I got to, find the most efficient way to do it. And the way I found out was, through Rodecast and also my phone. There's a cable that you can connect to my phone or to a phone in general. And it can, while you're recording, it can pick up the audio and also recording at the same time. So it's synchronizing at the same time. So that part of editing, I don't have to do. So I have to edit anything on my video side is basically editing the video and the audio at the same time. And I don't have to worry about synchronizing them too. So it can just keep it really, really simple for me. And I really, really enjoy that. So what is my, what do I record with? It's literally my phone. People are also surprised because they're like, yo, I didn't think it was your phone that you were, I thought you had like, more than one camera. And I'm like, no, it's one camera. And especially when I make my shorts, it just looks really nice. Plus on the phone, you can record in 4K. So why not? Literally your phone can do so many things right now. It's a big ass computer in a small package, Hey, big things come in small packages. I've heard, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so it's really efficient and it's really nice. And right now, this is what you're looking at right now is literally my phone, and you can watch this video in 4K with really great quality. And of course, because of all the equipment, really great audio. And then you must be wondering, right? If there's a camera, then something is holding it. And of course, it is. So I bought a stand. It was a tripod for my camera, and it is I'm a botch this too. It's the Sensyne 60-inch phone tripod. And it's also a selfie stick. So, if you want to make it smaller for a selfie stick, you can do that. And then if you want to extend it so you can make it a tripod, you can do it as well. Again, that is just very efficient. Buy in 2-in-1. And it's very simple. It's not heavy. And there's also this little thing that comes with it. That's like a Bluetooth little control. So whenever I have to take pictures or start a video with my guest or even myself, for example, let's say if I have to take a picture for the thumbnail artist, right, for me to send, I don't have to set my phone on 10 seconds and then come back and sit down and take the picture. What I do is just use the Bluetooth control, and I'll click the picture. I'll click the picture button and it'll take a picture right away, or you can do it in just 3 seconds, right? Click, 1, 2, 3, picture, smile, and that's it. You don't have to have somebody else take that for you. You don't have to have somebody else be present, or you don't have to keep going back and forth and taking pictures, which is so efficient. Again, if you're like me, if you're a one-person show and you're a one-person army, a one-man army, shout out to the Call of Duty fans, it's really, really cool, right? It's really, really cool. So you don't have to, keep going back and forth. It can be something so simple, and it's not that expensive. This, by the way, let's look at the price. I think it was about $40 at the time. Now it's lower. The pricing is lower on Amazon. Yeah, it's $23. That's really, really good. And it has different colors. So, I mean, it's nothing too crazy. I think at the time it was like about $40, but of course they're coming probably with like new versions and stuff, and new colors, whatever, blah, blah, all the good stuff. But I like it. I enjoy it. It's really nice. It doesn't, it's nothing crazy, but it's really neat. So if you want something simple, maybe you can go for this as well. So that is all the equipment that I use for my podcast setup. And that comes out to around $2,800. Let's say $3,000 for fun, just because, sometimes you also have miscellaneous things that you have to buy, is like cables and, little things like that. But $3,000 is what I started with my podcast. Again, let me emphasize something. You may have a different preference on what kind of podcast you want to have and how you want to start it. Also, if you have different people when it comes to investing in your podcast, let's say you have 2 people, 3 people, 4 people you want to do it with, the price is going to decrease. But there's definitely different options that you want to have. Again, my philosophy was, if I'm going to do something for a long time, I want to have good equipment. If I want to sound professional, like other professionals, and I have to match that energy of other people that are doing, the podcasting world right, and I want to compete with them when it comes to at least the audio, then I want to make sure that I have something that's good, that's going to function. And again, it's an investment. Now, the reason why I even invested all this money is, first of all, if by any chance, I don't want to podcast anymore, I can sell this back, probably get the, maybe 60% or something, while being used, depending on when I sell it. Let's say 50%. That's okay. That's all right. At least I tried and I used it. But I don't think I'm going to get rid of it anytime soon, because this is, to me, is more of a hobby. My YouTube channel is a passion that I have. It's a passion of mine. My podcast is a passion of mine. It's a hobby that I really have, and I really, really enjoy. It's really nice. I have a full-time job already. I don't depend on YouTube. I don't depend on the podcast, but everything that I make from YouTube and anything any monetization that I have, I invest it back into the podcast or invest it back into the YouTube channel, because again, it's a hobby, something that I really, really enjoy. So you also have to look at that side of things as well, right? What is it that you want to do with your podcast? Is this something that's, is going to make you or break you? Is this your money maker? Then you have to consider that as well. In my case, it's not the case. And I just enjoy the hobby and what it looks like. So, one last thing I wanted to add. If you want to keep it even more simple, I did buy something online through Rodecast as well. And these are the Wireless Pro mics. It's a Wireless Pro mic system that you can, if you wanted, you can do this if you're having just yourself, and maybe every time you do it, it's just a guest that you have. You can start by buying these, and these are about $400, and they're very simple, right? If you want to keep it simple, these can connect to your camera, basically any type of camera. It brings everything you need in one of these boxes, and it brings 2 mics with another system that's basically like a smaller version of the Rodecaster. So you can just, it kind of connects to the 2 mics, right? It's your intermediate, it's your middleman. So you can get these for $400, start your podcast that way, and you can just literally just connect it to your shirt and it will be good to go. I already did a podcast with these with my friends because I'm doing it outside. Now, this is something that I just wanted because out of convenience. Let's say I go out of state, out of town, and I wanted to make a podcast with somebody or meet up with somebody, then I can just make it. I don't have to take all this equipment to make the podcast. I can just take the Wireless Pro and make a podcast episode and connect it to my phone right away. Connect it to my phone right away, and it's so simple. So maybe this is another option that you look into. Again, remember, what is your philosophy behind your podcast? What is it that you're trying to do with it, and what's your goal? And just remember, don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about the money at the time that you're trying to make. Concentrate on the passion. Make sure it's a passion of yours. Make sure you like it. Make sure you're willing to make time, and go from there. Again, this is a passion of mine. This is something that I really enjoy, and it's something that it can just whatever the goal may be for yourself, then you can make that happen. So good luck podcasting. I wish you the best. And also, I'm not going to forget, but I'm going to show you the setup and what my podcast setup looks like. Very simple, very nice. It's actually in my basement. I have my workout equipment on my left side, and on the right side, I have more workout equipment with like trophies and stuff in the background, which looks really, really nice and really, homebody-ish. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video and enjoy my podcast setup. See you guys on the next one. Oh, also, wait. One more thing. If you guys are interested, I could show you the process on how I upload the video to my podcast platforms and how I go about editing and stuff like that. If you guys are interested in that video, comment on the description below, and just let me know if you want more information on that. Again, I've only been in the game for 7 months, so it is a little bit something new. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, but if you want more information on that, I can make a video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to support the channel, you can also buy your shirt from your boy, Spread Shop. Everything's gonna be in the description below. So there you go. I'm done. Now I'm done. See you guys in the next one. As always, peace and love, familia. Deuce.